Hello, Suburban Troll here, and I am back with more Danganronpa. Hey. Okay. There we go. Well, time to do this trial. There we go.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class. If you can, then I'll punish. Okay, let's talk about the murder weapon.
First, we have to make clear what was used to deliver the fatal blow. That is easy. It's the dust clamp, obviously.
Chihiro's fatal injury. It appears it was a head wound.
According to the Monokuma file, the what kind of blunt instrument could it have been?
Oh, dang it.
Shoot!
Chihiro's. It appears it was a...
According to the Monokuma file, what kind of blunt...
I bet it was an iron pipe.
No.
No, that's wrong.
I did not get that life. I did not get that life.
Can we agree that the object that dealt the fatal blow was the dumbbell? Found at the scene of the crime? It was covered in blood. And there was nothing else at the scene that could have caused that kind of injury.
And the wound on the victim's head is consistent with the shape of the dumbbell. As far as I'm concerned, there's no mistake and no room for doubt on this one.
You looked at her head wound?
Yay! That's so creepy!
If you don't mind, I will proceed from here. Let's move on to discussion of the culprit. Although, I believe the criminal behind this heinous act is already quite clear.
What? For real?
Wait, what?
Chihiro's killer is the fiendish serial killer, Genocide Jack.
Oh my god. You have to bring Genocide Jack into this. Not at all. Okay, this is where like the most annoying part of non-sub Bates gets added, I think.
The culprit is Genocide Jack.
Yeah, see?
I'm sure of it. Case closed, as far as I'm concerned.
But that's impossible!
Why? What makes it impossible?
Well, I mean, there's just no proof for it.
No, that's wrong.
There.
I might know one reason he could be involved.
What?
I found this file while I was looking around the archive in the I guess it's some kind of confidential file the police put together about the Genocide Jack case.
What? That's kind of weird as shit, isn't it? What was something like that doing in the library?
The why of it is probably more trouble than it's worth. So let's forget about that for now. More importantly, it outlines all the specifics of every Genocide Jack case in exceeding detail. According to the file, there appear to be two defining characteristics in every Genocide Jack case. The first is that a bloody message is found written at the scene of every murder.
Oh, that's right. Boob lust.
No.
No. It's actually bloodlust.
But more important is the other characteristic. And it's something that has never been made public.
Never made public? What the hell is it?
Why don't you tell them, Makoto?
Alright, I got you. The other characteristic of every Genocide Jack case, which the world at large doesn't know. How the victim was positioned. Oh, dang it!
Apparently, in
Oh,
every
I did not
Genocide
want to
Jack
get it
case,
right.
the killer suspends the body in a certain way. Other than the killer, the only people who know about this are the higher-ups in the police department.
However, Chihiro was most definitely suspended in the same way. So, how did the culprit know about this when only There's only one logical answer I can think of. It's because the culprit in this case is the real Genocide Jack.
No fucking way!
You're saying Genocide Jack is one of us?
Yes, in fact, it's Toko.
What?
Genocide Jack's true
Well, I was gonna
identity
point her out.
is Toko Fukawa.
You lie!
What? Hey, okay, wait, hold on a sec. Toko has, like, bloodophobia or whatever, remember? What kind of serial killer is afraid of blood?
Is Toko Genocide Jack? The answer is yes and no.
Another riddle? Man, why is this gotta be so complicated?
It does seem like a riddle in a way, but I feel like I can just about see it. Genocide Jack is Toko, but isn't Toko... What does it mean? Oh no, this part. Oh yeah. Wait. Come on, stop. Wait. I don't remember what goes here. Wait. No. Oh my gosh. Dang it. Okay. Wait, no, it's not L. It's not that either. Not that either. Oh. My health is not looking so good. Oh my gosh. Completely forgot.
I refuse to give up yet!
And the second one, like, it's very hard to lose, to like lose all your health in a Hangman's Gambit, but in this one's like so easy. Okay. Where's the C? And where is it? There you are. Oh, I forgot the S. Great. Okay. Schizo.
Now I understand!
I don't understand that.
Is it because Genocide Jack has a split personality?
You could have said split personality.
I think I read that somewhere in the file too. They thought that the suspect might have, what did they call it? Dissociative identity disorder.
And yet you made me suffer when you could have just said
But
that.
still, to go and say that about Miss Fukawa is...
Perfectly acceptable. Toko's strange behavior after seeing the body is proof enough that she has a split personality.
The one thing that shows Toko could have a split personality is it has to do with her behavior. Well, she arrived late. Okay, I'm joking. Her behavior changed.
You're talking about how she started acting totally different than usual, right?
That's right. Think back. She fainted when she saw Chihiro's corpse, and then, when she woke up...
I'm fine. Yeah. Okay.
She was acting funny, that's for sure. That melancholy tone of hers completely disappeared.
Don't go assigning adjectives to my tone without permission.
Not to mention, once she regained consciousness and saw Chihiro's body again, she was utterly calm. In other words, within her is one personality that can handle blood, and one that obviously can.
So when Toko trapped herself in her room, it's because she was scared of genocide?
The reason she locked herself in her room wasn't to keep other people from getting in. It was to keep her other personality from getting out.
What?
Toko was afraid. Afraid of the murderous fiend inside of her. Of killing even more people.
How?
Yeah. How can you know all this?
I do believe you misunderstood her. What she's trying to say isn't, how can you know all this? No. What she wants to know is, how could you tell them?
Huh?
Last night, just before Monokuma gave his motive speech, Toko and I had a strange... She told me a most interesting... She said a murderous fiend lived within her, and she was afraid it could appear and attack at any... And that trepidation is what's caused her to have such a bleak attitude. Isn't that right, Toko?
This is all a lie.
Wow.
Right?
You said you wouldn't tell anyone.
Wow,
What?
Byakuya.
You promised. I can't believe you lied.
You have only yourself to blame. You came to me with your tragic little story. I didn't ask you to. This is the real world, not some romantic fantasy fairy tale. Besides, you broke your promise first. You said that as long as you were here, no matter what, you wouldn't let Genocide Jack kill anyone. But in spite of that promise...
Okay.
You said if I kept my promise, you would go out with me. That's the only reason I promised.
How many times do I have to tell you? I never said that. But you weren't able to do it. You just couldn't resist that rush you got from killing. Could you?
I tried. I swear I tried to control it.
But your efforts were useless. What a disappointment.
I hate you.
Well, the opening act is nearly finished. All that's left is to hear from the person in question directly.
The person you don't...
Toko's body suddenly lunged backwards. A huge thud echoed across the courtroom. But in the next second...
Well, hello there! Is it me you were hoping to see? Yes! What the heck? So you figured it out, huh? Well, whatever. What are you gonna do? I'm the ultimate murderous fiend, Genocide Jack! Or better yet, let's go with Genocide Jill!
What the fuck is this?
Toko, what happened to you?
Not Toko. That's a loser name. And what happened is a textbook split personality. So what if one of them happens to be a serial killer? You should turn a blind eye to one's faults.
She's so intense.
Like they say, sound in murderous mind, sound in murderous body.
This one is so different from the one we've come to know.
Yes, well, the world is composed of a front and a back, you know. Just like how every inning has a top and a bottom, or how in the depths of every truth lives a little... Behind every dark and gloomy soul lives another that shines as bright as the sun!
Miss Jack, Jill, can I ask you a question?
What's up?
Some of us think you might be the mastermind behind our entire situation. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'll tell you. I am the mastermind of all masterminds! Just kidding!
Then it's not true?
Of course it's not true! How dare you try to link me to that creepazoid! And another thing, the police police and government and society in the outside world are totally powerless. I mean, they just let this idiotic, bloodthirsty maniac go buck wild all over town.
Sure, I'm a bloodthirsty maniac, but life is pain, right? To live is to hurt other people. It's a necessary evil if you want to survive. The act of living itself causes pain for everyone. Just kidding again!
This should be enough to convince you. This murderous fiend is responsible for Chihiro's death. There's clearly a motive, so there should be no doubt.
A motive?
Remember what Monokuma told us? If someone didn't murder and graduate within 24 hours, an embarrassing memory or secret would be revealed. Well, let's assume that Toko's secret was about Genocide Jack. If a secret like that came to light, Toko's life would have undoubtedly been forever ruined. So she had a very clear motive to never have that side of herself exposed.
Interesting. Very, very, very interesting. But sorry, as much as I hate to admit it, I'm not the culprit.
Huh?
But I cannot imagine anyone other than you could murder someone in such a bizarre fashion.
Maybe so, but nevertheless, it's the truth.
Do you really expect any of us to believe you?
Yeah. I could never believe a word you say, you monster.
Maybe she's totally right about that, but something's still bothering me. What she said, I need to get some more details about all this. Okay. Wait. I think I gotta use the status of the body.
Sorry, but I didn't kill anyone.
You say that, but do you really expect any—
Perhaps if you had an alibi, that—
Oh, an alibi, huh? Now I—
When you compare your past murders to this incident, the modus operandi matches completely.
What more proof do we need?
Ah, dang it.
Give it up. You killed her.
Sorry, but I—
You say that, but
perhaps if you had an
Oh, an alibi, huh?
When you compare your past murders to this incident, the modus operandi matches completely.
No, that's wrong. Are the methods of murder really exactly the same? I'm not so sure about that. I think there's a slight difference between the Genocide Jack cases and this one.
Huh? How's it any different?
Uh-oh, you don't know? Well then, human garbage, let me tell— I murder with passion and conviction. I consider myself a professional, and I have a very particular way of doing things. Imagine you go to a fancy Italian restaurant. They're very picky about the noodles, the sauce, everything. But what happened to Chihiro? It'd be like if that same Italian restaurant started using ragu or Chef Boyardee. This is no creation of mine.
Let me rephrase that, in a way that maybe makes more sense. There are two clear differences between the Genocide Jack cases and this one.
There's one clear difference between the murders. The style of the... Okay. Right. No, Hifumi. Oh yeah. I mean, it's not like the technique is going to be exactly the same every single time.
Shoot! I got
Victim's
it!
fatal injury.
For one, the cause of death is different. In the Genocide Jack murders, all the victims were killed the same way. According to the case file, they were all apparently killed with a pair of scissors. But Chihiro died from a blow to the head, right?
Ah, yes. That is remarkably different from the other murders.
Wouldn't it be strange for someone who kills the same way without fail to suddenly change their method? And there's more. One more conflicting detail.
That's right. In my recipe of murder, if the bloody message is the tortellini, then the arrangement of the body would be the pesto.
Could you please stop comparing killing people to cooking?
So, are you saying the other difference has to do with how the body was arranged?
Same difference is...
I got it!
What would you use to suspend her?
Do you remember what the killer used to suspend her? They used some kind of rope to hang her up by her wrists.
What is your point?
Well, in all the previous Genocide Jack cases, specifically, pairs of razor-sharp scissors.
And guess what? I used my own specially designed scissors for the murders and the arrangement. Like I said, I'm a professional, so naturally I'm very picky about the tools I use. And you know what else? Big Mac said there's two differences, but he's wrong.
Big Mac? Are you referring to me?
Listen up, Big Mac. There's actually one more difference.
Huh?
My word, you really didn't notice? Take a look at who the victims were in each Genocide Jack case. There's a pattern there, just waiting to be discovered.
A pattern?
Figure that out, and it'll be plain as death why I couldn't have possibly killed that little lolly.
The pattern is... because Chihiro was her lover. Are you talking about girl and girl? This is gonna blossom into chaos. Don't be crazy. Why are you trying to force me to be all lovey-dovey, hippy-dippy with some girl? You don't get it. What was that? You say something? No, nothing. At all. So they weren't lovers then.
I got it! Is it because Chihiro was a girl?
Bingo! Bullseye! Right on the money!
What are you talking about?
In all the Genocide Jack cases, all the victims had something in common.
They were all... guys?
That's right! The people I kill with such passion and conviction are all adorable little men! I can't believe I said it! I'm so embarrassed!
The hell is wrong with you?
I can't help it! I'm just a full-throttle boy-on-boy fangirl, and the mopey side of me just hates it. But now I'm on the fast track to becoming a full-fledged fan madam!
So, since Chihiro was a girl and not an adorable little man, you wouldn't kill her?
Would an Italian chef suddenly start making ramen just because they're both noodles? Don't be stupid. I have too much passion and conviction to cross that line. That's the absolute reality of the one and only.
We get it. You've clearly explained your hobby and your philosophy. But it's a different matter entirely, when you're forced to kill in order to survive.
Quiet, lowly car!
Lowly?
I would never kill for a reason as petty as mere survival. And if by some fluke I did kill to survive, why would I bother with the message and arrangement? It'd make me the obvious suspect!
That does make some amount of sense.
Plus, whatever reason I have for killing, I would never leave out my prized scissors. Who would go out of their way to use a big, stupid, heavy dumbbell?
Maybe you used the dumbbell because you couldn't find any scissors in this...
Any scissors? I don't just use any scissors. I only use my own set of high-class envy of the entire...
Okay, whatever. There still aren't any in the school.
Are you sure about that?
She's fully equipped!
That's right! So I can kill anywhere, anytime! Why would I resort to dumbbells or rope when I have my trusty scissors by my... Go ahead, tell me I'm wrong! You can't, can you, gutter dogs, all of you! Not to mention, I have no clue how to tie a good knot. So rope's totally out of the question anyway!
I have no idea what's going on anymore! Could such a heinous villain really be innocent?
But the body really was suspended, right? And nobody but the police knew about that.
Yeah. That's why we figured it had to be the real deal and not some copycat killer or whatever.
Actually, hold on. There is one person. One person who could have copied Genocide Jack's cases. Psyche Amazona. Obviously. Mondo Wada.
Shoot!
Alright. Hifumi Yamada. Okay, I'm just saying. I'll select them.
Here's my answer. Byakuya, it's possible you could have found out. You'd have no problem gaining access to classified government documents or internal plus, you'd already looked through the Genocide Jack file before this all happened, hadn't you?
Are you saying Mr. Togami did it?
Then, the reason he pushed the theory of Genocide Jack being the killer so hard, because he wanted to pin the crime on her.
So, he rearranged the scene to disguise it and make it look like I put my stamp on it! The adorable glasses man was behind it all! Oh, I'm on fire!
Well, Byakuya, what's your response?
I see. So now the suspicion falls on me. Then I must ask, when would you say I began acting suspicious? Surely you must have an answer.
Looking back and thinking about it now, the way you were acting right before we discovered the body was a little... You wanted to go to the girls' locker room right away, right? But since you're a guy...
I should have naturally thought of the boys' locker room first. Is that what you want to say? The victim was Chihiro, a girl. Hence why I said we should check the girls' locker room.
Nothing strange about that, I'd say.
On the contrary, there's something very strange.
Yeah.
Okay then. What's so strange about it?
You don't know
Go
who the victim
ahead.
was.
Share with the rest of the class.
I think I know what the new element is.
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body. But he was acting weird.
If you're presented with the opportunity to check, that's a natural reaction.
The victim was Chihiro. So of course I would say there was no time for... What's so strange?
I wish you'd taken me with you.
Yeah, I know what to do.
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found, but he was acting weird.
If you're presented with the opportunity to check, that's a natural reaction.
The victim
was Chihiro.
No, that's wrong.
There we go.
I'll tell you what's so strange about that, because up until we actually discovered the body, we couldn't have known who the victim... So your claim that you went to the girls' locker room first because Chihiro was the victim doesn't hold up.
I see. That's a good answer, I must admit. Interesting. Very interesting indeed. But your reasoning is still too weak.
Huh?
What's wrong? Is that it? Surely you've got more than that. Go ahead. Show us.
Okay. But he's acting like it has nothing to do with
What's the matter? You're not finished already, are you? There must be more to it.
There is. I think.
There is more to it. Think about it. We just talked about the differences between this case and past Genocide Jack incident. The proof you're looking for is hidden in there.
Oh? Proof that I'm the culprit, you mean?
The difference between this case and other Genocide Jack murders, the evidence that proves Byakuya is responsible is hidden in there. What could it be?
What?
Well,
the difference
the
between
library
the
death
cases?
clamp.
You want me to explain it again? When I want to kill, I use my very own special scissors. And I use those same scissors to arrange the body.
But Chihiro was suspended. It was some kind of rope.
That's right! It absolutely was!
Then there must be something very fishy indeed.
Hey, Byakuya. Where'd you get it from, huh?
I'd never seen that rope before in my life.
Lies.
No, that's wrong. Actually, I'm pretty sure you have seen it before. Because, you see, that rope, or should I say, that extension cord?
What? An extension cord?
Byakuya, you've used the extension cord in the library more than once, haven't you? And the same extension cord that was in the library all this time went missing after the murder. And there's no way someone who uses that extension cord as much as you do wouldn't discover that.
Then Byakuya must be the one who took the extension cord. I can't imagine any other possibility.
That's really what you think? Then your conclusion is something like this. I killed Chihiro in the girls' locker room, then hung her up and wrote that bloody... I intentionally made it look like Genocide Jack was behind it. Is that about right?
Okay, he's doing it again. He's totally calm, totally unconcerned, as if he's not even involved. Wait, not even involved.
What's wrong? I asked you if you think that's what happened.
Hell yes, that's what happened.
Yeah.
So that's it, right? Byakuya's the killer.
I don't disagree with not disagreeing.
He kept calling this a game, right? So he'd be totally willing to do something like this to...
Sorry, but could we hold on just a second? I think we need to talk about this a little more.
Huh? Do we really need to? We've already decided who did it.
I know, but still, there's something that's still bothering.
Is that right? And what, pray tell, is still bothering you? I killed her in the girls' locker room, then disguised my crime. Specifically, I dressed it up to make it look like it was the work of a homicidal psychopath. What about all that bothers you?
Byakuya's remarks just now. There's something in there that concerns me. Huh?
I got it!
Crime?
You say you killed Chihiro in the girls' locker room, right? But are you sure about that? Isn't it possible that the murder took place
How disappointing. What kind of question is that? Even in the world of disappointments, this is a true letdown. She was found dead in the girls' locker room. There is absolutely no question about that. How could the scene of the crime have been anywhere else?
Well, I think it's entirely possible that she was killed somewhere else, then carried there along with the rest of the murder scene.
The rest of the murder? That was awfully specific. Please tell me you have a reason for saying all of that.
I believe I do.
Byakuya, did I just take you off guard? When the story suddenly moved to the crime scene, Byakuya, who had been so confident up till now, maybe Byakuya never even realized that the actual scene of the crime could have been somewhere else.
Hey! Don't just move on without permission! What do you mean she was killed somewhere?
Come on, Makoto.
Wait.
If there's any chance the murder took place somewhere else, let's see the proof.
Evidence that shows the murder took place somewhere else. I need to just focus on those things that got switched. Okay, well, for one, the 2 locker room posters.
I got it! The proof that she was killed somewhere else is the poster that's hanging in each locker room.
Your proof is some posters?
The poster in the girls' locker room was a picture of a big-boobed supermodel. But don't you think that's kind of strange? Why would the girls' locker room have a poster like that?
I bet those massive jugs of hers were totally fake!
Meanwhile, the boys' locker a poster of the super popular boy band Tornado. Again, that doesn't really seem to belong in a boys' locker room.
So you're saying that maybe the posters were switched?
And there's one other thing I noticed about the locker rooms. You know what I'm talking about, right, Sakura?
You're referring to my protein coffee, aren't you?
Protein coffee?
While I was in the girls' locker room earlier, I spilled some protein coffee on the carpet. But I noticed that after the murder, the stain had been totally scrubbed away.
I thought the stain was scrubbed away. It was moved.
I got it! The stain on the girls' locker room carpet wasn't scrubbed away. In fact, I found it on the boys' locker room carpet.
That's definitely the stain from my protein coffee.
Then, does that mean that the carpets were switched too? But why would anyone do—
To move the murder scene from one locker room to the other. It's certainly plausible.
What?
In other words, in order to completely swap the scene of the crime, the blood-stained poster and carpet were moved along with the dead body. By doing this, the killer was able to change the entire room where the murder took place.
I can certainly follow your reasoning, but why would the culprit bother doing that?
Huh?
Why would they go to all that trouble of switching the scene of the crime? Actually, an even bigger question. If the murder did take place in the boys' locker room, then how did Chihiro get in the boys' locker room in the first place? To get into the locker rooms, you have to swipe your e-handbook across the card reader device. But Chihiro's handbook should have only allowed her access to the girls' locker room. She had no way to get into the boys' locker room to begin.
No, she did have a way! And I can tell you what it was.
I highly doubt that.
Shut up! I'm telling you, I know how she could have done it.
Is she right? Could Chihiro really have gotten into the boys' locker room somehow? Wait. No. She couldn't.
Is it really possible? Could Chihiro really have gotten into the boys' locker room?
I got it! She must have hacked her e-handbook. She was the ultimate programmer. I'm sure that would have been no problem for her.
No, I don't think that's it. She used the thing that was in the main hall.
Huh? What thing?
I'm talking about Leon's
Handbook, of course.
No.
No, that's wrong! No, I don't think Chihiro used Leon's handbook.
Why not?
Because Leon's handbook was broken.
Oh. Well, then, yeah, I guess that'd be pretty impossible.
I am struck silent by how quickly you gave up.
Plus, isn't there a regulation against using someone else's hand?
Actually, the rule states that loaning your handbook is prohibited. It says nothing about In other words, you could borrow a dead person's handbook all you want, and you'd be
Yup. Hit the nail square on the noggin.
Of course, if it were broken, that wouldn't make any sense anyway.
So then, she must have hacked hers, like I said. She used her ultimate programmer skills and...
Psst! You can't fix an e-handbook. The instant you open one up, a security buzzer starts blaring.
So, if she didn't use Leon's handbook, and she didn't modify her own handbook...
Maybe Mr. Naegi's initial assumption is just wrong?
It seems like there's no way she could have got into the boys' locker room. So I guess so.
Okay then, I vote for Byaku.
Is that it then? Chihiro was killed in the girls' locker room and Byakuya is the one who did it, really? But still, I don't know what else I can do.
Hold on a second. I agree with you, though. I think you're on the right track.
What the? You finally decide to open your mouth and that's what you've got? There's no way she could get in the boys' locker room, right? So...
Why are you so sure she couldn't get in? There's still one other way she could have gained access.
What?
What are you talking about? What other way?
Well, to explain, why don't we take a little break from the trial? I'd like you all to come see something.
Wait. Just what do you think you're doing?
Don't worry. This'll make the whole trial more exciting. I'm sure that thought must please you.
Huh? It'll make things more exciting? Well, all right then. I declare in a... Huh? Now then, what is it you want to show us? It better not be boring or I'll be very...
Oh, I have no doubt it'll meet your lofty expectations.
Okay. So before I even knew what was happening, the class trial had been put on hold. We headed off with Kyoko and the lead. And where she took us was...
the girls' locker room?
We've already searched this place top to bottom! What are you trying to pull?
I'd like you to examine the victim's body.
You want to
Be
check
sure to
again?
examine the entire body very carefully. Take your time.
Examine her carefully? Like using our hand.
No way, no way, no way, no way, no way!
It's probably best if I don't run my hands all over a girl's dead body.
It's not that I'm creeped out or anything, it's just... based on religious...
Very well. I'll do it.
But you're a girl. You shouldn't have to touch a dead body. Just let one of the boys do it.
No, it's okay. I think Chihiro would rather have a girl examine her. So just leave this to me.
Sakura. What is this? Some kind of secret girl-on-girl action? Is that what you two are about? That's not it at all. Stop screwing around.
Okay, here I go. I'm sorry, Chihiro. Please excuse the intrusion.
Putting her hands together in a brief prayer, Sakura then began to quietly examine her body.
Be sure to check her entire body, and I believe we will solve this particular mystery.
Her entire body? I know you say that, but... What? This is... What is this...
I love this part.
What is it?
Not possible. It's not possible.
She found something very interesting.
This girl is
what?
Is a boy!
Ah, I see. So she was actually a he. Interesting. Thank you for confirming.
What?
You're joking, right?
I wouldn't joke about this.
Then it's really true.
Chihiro was a god?
Oh, what? You guys didn't know? Heck, I knew that right off the... Chihiro Fujisaki was totally...
Then he was a cross-dresser? Oh, no, I'm really on fire! I wish I...
So that's what Kyoko wanted to show everyone, huh? Interesting. Yes, that certainly does make things much more exciting. Now let's ride this wave of excitement back to the courtroom and... Ahem. I do apologize for keeping you waiting. Now then, let's resume the class. We've all just learned of the shocking revelation that Chihiro was actually a boy.
Yes, well, I don't know his reason for hiding it, but the fact is, Chihiro was not a girl, but a boy.
To think that Chihiro was actually a guy, the thought had never crossed my
And
mind.
because the victim was male, he would have had no problem gaining access to the boys' locker room.
Assuming his handbook did, in fact, list his gender as male, then yes, that would be true.
Of course his handbook said he was a boy. He dressed like a girl, but he was a boy through and through.
So then, there should be no issue with Makoto's initial assertion. The victim was killed in the boys' locker room, and was then later moved to the girl. And the killer could have easily used Sayaka or Junko's handbook to get into the girls' locker room.
So Chihiro really was killed in the boys' locker room?
I still don't understand the motive for moving the body, but...
Well, I must admit, I did find it rather odd. I knew he felt a little off. There was a certain incongruity to his female body.
This is a most titillating situation!
So now everything has been connected. All the mysteries have finally become
Okay, well, connected or clear or whatever. We still think you're the killer, remember?
very interesting. This has become very interesting.
Ah, he's off in his own little world.
What about you, Makoto? After everything we've learned, do you still think Byakuya...
Well, without a doubt, Byakuya is the one that made Chihiro's death look like Genocide Jack did it. But... I think he might not actually be the killer after all.
What? But aren't you the one who accused him in the first place?
He just seems to be too easygoing about all this. Like he's enjoying us solving the way he's acting. It makes it seem like it doesn't have anything to do with him.
And you think that might be because it doesn't have anything to do with him?
Plus, the evidence he left behind was a little too... how can I put it? Overt. He consciously chose to use the extension cord, knowing it could connect him to the murder. At least, that's how I see it. And Byakuya, when you found out the murder took place in the boys' locker room, it seemed to rattle you. And then again, when you found out Chihiro was actually a guy, if you really were the killer, that stuff wouldn't have had any effect.
So that's your thinking, huh? Well, it bothers me that you don't have more concrete It's fine. I guess I'll mark it as correct, for the time being.
Mark it as correct?
He's right. I am not the culprit. I just happened to come across the corpse in the girls' locker room and decided to alter it.
Are you fucking with us right now?
No, I am not effing with you right now. I'm telling you the truth.
Well, I find it very hard to believe.
Go ahead. Find it very hard to believe. You're free to be executed along with the rest of us.
If you're really telling the truth, then why?
My reasons hardly matter right now. Uncovering the culprit is much more important, wouldn't you say? Now then, if it wasn't me, who was it?
Well, I don't think I can say for sure without talking about it.
We're seriously gonna keep going? We're all good, aren't we? I thought it was clear, Byuk.
No, I'm with Makoto. If there's any doubt whatsoever, we need to explore every possibility, because if we're wrong, we all die here.
That's true. Very well then. I'm with you too.
Damn straight. Count me in.
Do you not have a mind of your own?
Of course I do. What am I, an ant or something?
Anyway, let's discuss this all as a group one more time. We still have time to...
That's very true.
Our lives are all on the line.
Excellent. Then shall we resume our game of hide and seek?
Then who's the real killer who murdered Chihiro? There's one thing we can be sure that we know about. The killer is a... right, the killer is a guy.
I got it!
Since the crime scene was the boys' locker room, you would need a boys' handbook to get in. Since Leon's handbook is apparently broken, the killer would have had to use their own. In other words, it had to have been a guy. But that's still not enough. I need to find some more clues.
Isn't there a single clue that might lead us to who did it?
Well, clues are one thing. Did nobody get a look at the killer?
I'm sure if someone saw the killer, they would have said...
Perhaps someone saw the victim at some point. Even that might be enough.
Yeah. All we need right now is any kind of new info.
It's over. It's all over. You want to know who saw the victim? The killer.
And only the killer.
No.
No, that's wrong.
Oh my god.
I believe someone else did see the victim before he was murdered. What do you think, Celeste?
Right.
Now that you mention it, yes, I did see him.
Huh? Really?
Oh, but I suppose only Makoto knows about this. The rest of
Only
you had no
Makoto.
idea, did you? That is why you're all making such ugly noises.
Okay then.
Whatever! Just hurry up and tell us!
It was last night, right before nighttime. I saw Chihiro in the dormitory warehouse. I saw him stuffing a track jacket into a duffel bag. And then, I assume, he headed off to exercise.
A track jacket and a duffel bag? But we didn't find anything like that at the murder scene.
It seems likely that the culprit destroyed them to get rid of any evidence.
And that is when he said something that struck me as rather odd.
Well, okay.
Chihiro told me he was in a... But why would he be in a hurry? Only if someone were waiting for him, I should think.
So, Mr. Fujisaki was on his way to meet with someone, and then they were going to work out together?
But Hina and I had invited him to exercise with us plenty of times, and he always declined.
Probably because he was afraid you'd find out the secret he was hiding.
Which means that conversely, he must have trusted whoever he was meeting with very much. Enough so that he was willing to risk his secret being revealed.
What a marvelous friend! The point is, whoever he met up with is the culprit, right?
But knowing what we know...
No. You already have what you need to make the connection.
Huh?
You know who the killer is.
Seriously?
Who is it?
Think back to the track jacket and duffel bag the killer disposed. Focus on the details of these items, and it should become obvious who was waiting for him.
Are you sure about that? You really think we can figure out who did it based on 2 pieces of evidence that we don't have?
What? You want to track down some fingerprints or something?
Okay then.
Even if we had the equipment for that, we wouldn't know how to use it.
As was noted, the evidence is already gone. There's nothing to get fingerprints.
Maybe, but we can make certain inferences if we just take the time to talk it out.
Easy for you to say. But fine. Celeste, did you notice anything special about the bag or jacket?
The bag was just a normal duffel bag from the warehouse. All the bags in there are the same, so I can't imagine what would make that one special.
Well, if I remember right, there was a decent variety of tracksuits to choose from. Do you think there might be some connection between the culprit and Chihiro's...
Perhaps. Let's explore that and talk a bit more about the jacket he took.
Does Chihiro's track jacket really hold some clue about the killer? Somehow, it's really hard to believe. Okay. This is where the killer gives
First of
himself
all,
away.
we know where Chihiro was headed. He was on his way to go exercise. So next we have to ask, why did he choose the specific tracksuit?
What do you mean, the specific tracks?
I got it! He picked that tracksuit. It matched the one the culprit was wearing.
So, what you're saying is, the killer was wearing the
Same blue tracksuit as him?
There we go.
No, that's wrong! Hold on a second, Mondo. What did you just say?
Huh? What'd I say?
When Celeste testified a few minutes ago, she said...
Okay.
She never said anything about the jacket's color, so why did you say Chihiro's blue tracksuit?
What are you... You just...
Hey, Celeste. What color was Chihiro's tracks?
As a matter of fact, it was blue.
And before we began the trial, did you tell anyone that?
The only one I told about any of this was you.
Then, Mondo, how did you know what color Chihiro's tracksuit was?
Because I just...
I'm sure he saw the clothes at some point in the investigation.
No, that can't be it. The bag and clothes were surely disposed of by the time we began our investigation.
Then the only reason he could have known what color the tracksuit was is if he saw Cherry with it before he died! That's Cherry? Are you talking about Chihiro? So, how about it? Did you see the tracksuit or didn't you?
Just by chance. I just happened to see it last night. He walked past me, and he was carrying the tracksuit in his...
No, that can't be it either. According to Celeste's test... When Celeste noticed it, Chihiro made a point of making sure the jacket was completely in the bag. If you just ran into him briefly, you couldn't possibly have seen what color the tracksuit was.
Yeah.
It would appear you've dug your own grave.
Perhaps. But you handed him the shovel, didn't you? That's why you said, will you focus on the tracksuit and it'll be obvious who he met with?
Ah, now I understand. It was all one big bluff, wasn't it? Your true intention was to draw a slip of the tongue from the culprit. That's why you said you knew who did it. To put them on edge.
That's right. However, Mondo was my target all along. I had my suspicions about him from the very beginning.
But why? What made you so suspicious?
That's a good question.
Because I hate him.
There was a certain turning point. Maybe you didn't notice it, Mondo, but you tend to refer to men and women You only call guys dude. For girls, it's chick. And after he was killed,
because
you happened to
like
refer
Jack.
to him as dude. Once I picked up on that, it occurred to me that Mondo knew something we didn't.
You noticed such a tiny detail?
Are you a witch? She's a witch! You're positively frightful!
No, I'm not the frightful one. Not nearly as frightful as someone capable of murdering a friend.
Mondo, was it really you? Did you really kill Chihiro?
I didn't kill anyone! You've been all over me, judging everything I say, putting words in my mouth. What gives you the right to treat me like a goddamn criminal?
Yeah! He would never do something like that! This is a false accusation!
It's true. My reasoning on that is pretty shaky.
That was fast.
Well, this does present us with a problem. It seems we are all out of...
My time has... That's what my little ghost friend...
Oh yeah, that reminds me. Hifumi, weren't you telling me you'd found some evidence?
Really? What kind of evidence?
Actually, you know, now that I'm thinking about it here calmly, it might not be all that relevant.
Jeez, does your confidence just get up and walk away? It's fine, man.
If you really insist. Here it is.
What do you have there?
It happens to be an e-handbook. I found it laying on the ground, so I scooped it up.
That must belong to... Oh, wait, no, I have mine right here.
Shoot!
It's Mondo's. Wait.
Shoot!
Then who's this? Oh my gosh. It's Chihiro.
I got it! We know Chihiro's handbook was missing from the scene of the crime.
For a fact.
For a fact, I was totally
Then it must hold some clue about the culprit.
Well, that's what I was hoping. But it's busted. It won't even turn...
I imagine the culprit broke it to get rid of any evidence after the...
That's odd. I didn't think the handbooks were quite so fragile.
You're right. They're not. They're totally waterproof and shock resistant. It would take an awful lot to break one.
And yet, this one does appear to be broken, as is Leon's, sitting useless in the main hall for all your confidence. That is a remarkably high failure rate.
Do you think there might be some kind of mystery in there? How precisely did the handbooks get broken?
How did the handbooks get broken? By hitting its weak point.
You already told us before that the handbook has one weak point, didn't you?
Yeah! You remember that? Sure, maybe I let that slip. But I never told anyone what the weak point...
But if the handbook is supposed to never break, and two of them broke in quick succession...
Then we can only assume that someone's figured out its weakness. You know what the weakness is, right, Monokuma? So, what it...
Huh? You're asking me?
I think it's a necessary piece of information if you want this to be a fair trial.
But if I tell you, and someone else decides to copy it, that would be very not...
Just tell us already! Why would we want to break...
Oh well, I have a weakness for pushy demands. Then allow me to make a special announcement. The weak point of my cutting-edge e-handbook is... When it's exposed to high temperatures for too long, it will suffer a meltdown and totally break!
Yes, because it cannot get hit by 1,000 baseballs and break, but it can break by high temperatures.
I flippin' knew it!
You knew it?
Yeah, because I found the handbook laying on the floor of the sauna.
The temperature in the sauna can reach over 200 degrees. Strange how you don't get burnt. It's because as your sweat evaporates, it creates a cooling layer. If the hot air of the sauna were somehow pushed directly onto your skin, you'd definitely get fried. That layer of air would get blown away. That's why you may feel a burning when you move around. So when you're in a sauna, make sure to keep nice and still.
Wow, interesting. I learned one new fact today.
That is a mere trifling speck of knowledge.
Anyway, if you found the victim's handbook in the sauna, then the killer must have been purposely trying to raise its temperature in order to
Meaning the culprit somehow knew its weakness.
But how'd they find out?
Indeed.
What if they found out by accident?
What do you mean by accident?
What if the killer took their own handbook into the sauna, not knowing its weakness? They'd realize it was broken, of course, and it wouldn't be hard to figure out why. And once they had Chihiro's handbook, they knew they had an easy way.
I won't say it's not possible, but who would have done something like that? I don't know of anyone who took their handbook into...
I might know someone who did.
Whoa, serious?
I think the one who may have taken their handbook into the sauna.
Who might have taken their handbook into the sauna. Saika Maizono.
Here's my answer.
Obviously.
Mondo, your handbook got broken in the sauna, didn't it?
What?
Why? Why do you keep accusing him?
Mondo and Taka had an endurance contest in the sauna not too long ago, remember? And for the contest, Mondo just so happened to keep his school uniform on. But little did he realize, he'd also left his handbook in one of his uniforms. And when it was all over, Mondo discovered that taking your handbook into the sauna could easily destroy it.
No, wait, hold on. You've got it all wrong. He would never kill... I don't accept this. Show me the proof. The actual solid...
I mean, I don't want to believe it either, but I found something that proves it beyond a shadow of a doubt. Okay. The Broken E handbook?
Let's test Makoto's assertion. If what he says is correct, you broke your own handbook.
In other words, if Mondo's handbook is, then that proves that what Makoto...
Well, my goddamn handbook works just fine!
Ah, I missed.
Makoto was wrong.
Mondo wouldn't hurt a fly!
Why is there so much of those, like...
Let's test if what he said you broke your own.
In other words, if Mondo's, then that proves...
Well, my goddamn handbook works just fine!
Please, let's do this.
No, that's wrong!
Go.
Mondo, the handbook you have right now, is it really yours?
The fuck is that supposed to mean?
The broken handbook that was in the main hall, isn't that one actually...
What the heck are you talking about?
What I mean is, I think Mondo swapped his handbook out for one that actually... I think he took Leon's handbook and replaced it with his own. After all, Monokuma said himself that Leon's handbook never should have broken.
That's right! The punishment it suffered wasn't nearly enough to destroy...
So then, the broken handbook in the main hall is actually which would mean that the handbook Mondo has right now is actually Leon's, yes?
But doesn't that violate the school regulation that says loaning out your hand?
Well, here's how I look at it. There is a rule about loaning your handbook to another student, but if they're dead, they're not a student. It's kind of a gray area, I admit. As such, I decree that exchanging handbooks with a corpse is not a violation.
Well, Mondo, if I'm wrong about this, you're welcome to say so. I'm happy to admit I made a mistake, but...
Son of a...
What's wrong, bro? Come on! Tell him you are wrong! You have to be wrong! Everything you just said is wrong! You made it all—
Okay, then why don't we look back on this case one more time?
Okay, the
For
closing
that way,
argument?
everything will become clear. And we'll all see if I was right or wrong.
Alright. So first off, what happened was Where is it? Okay. Yeah, it's there. Okay, and then we have this part where, Chihiro arrived at the boys' locker room. And Mondo is just lifting weights. And this is where Mondo threw Chihiro's crystal ball. Okay. That's where he used that. And this is where the lifting weights goes. And okay, well this isn't used. Oh, I'm confused. Okay. Well, okay, well, it's splatter on the poster. And Mondo took the poster down. And oh no, the door. And then you put the picture up and stuff. This is when Byakuya noticed. Oh, dang. Looks a lot more brutal in this. He came in with an extension cord. Got bloodlust on the wall. That happened.
The killer is you! First, let's take a look back to before.
I mean, I did
Last
like
night,
the first one.
Celeste
correct?
saw Chihiro in the warehouse, correct? At the time, she was apparently stuffing something into a duffel bag.
Okay.
That something was a blue tracksuit. You can confirm this, right, Celeste? With bag in hand, Chihiro headed out, even though it was officially nighttime. She made her way to the locker room, specifically the boys' locker room. But how could the victim, who was apparently a girl, access the boys' locker room?
I mixed these two up, did I? And that means this one goes right here.
Here's exactly what happened. With bag in, she made her. But how could the victim? Simple, because she was really a he, which is why he was able to use his own e-handbook to gain entrance to the boys' locker room.
Okay.
Once inside, he met with someone there, and the person he met was the one who killed him. It seems likely that the killer grabbed the nearby dumbbell, approached the unsuspecting Chihiro and attacked him. And that's where the bloodstains on the poster and carpeting in the boys' locker room. It was likely in the heat of the moment. The body was arranged, but the murder itself felt unplanned. Which is why the killer hurried to try and hide the act.
The door one's
then,
probably
removing
incorrect.
the bloody poster.
No, well, then what will go there? Okay. Oh.
The killer is you! Which is why the killer hurried to try. Then, removing.
There we go.
And finally carrying the corpse into the girls' locker room. A girl's handbook was necessary to get into the locker room, of course, but this alone doesn't prove that the killer was necessarily a girl. After all, Sayaka and Junko's handbooks had been placed in the main hall. Using one of those, a boy could get into the girls' locker room without much problem.
Yeah.
And that's exactly how the killer did it. With the carpet and the poster they brought with them, they got to work. They changed the layout of the boys' and girls' locker room in what you might call a crime scene switch. That could have been the end of things, but no. Byakuya discovered the body and decided to intervene in the situation, making things even more complicated.
Okay.
So, after stumbling on the crime scene, he went and grabbed the extension cord from the library, and then he got to work. He used the cord to string up Chihiro's lifeless body. Then, using the victim's own blood, he left a grisly message there at the scene of the crime. He wanted to create the illusion that Genocide Jack was responsible for the slaughter. And around the same time that Byakuya was putting together this facade, the killer, having already disposed of Chihiro's bag and other belongings, arrived at the sauna. There, they planned to destroy the last piece of evidence. And just as the killer expected, the steamy sauna was enough to ruin the electronic gadget. Somehow, the killer knew that the handbook couldn't stand up to the heat of the sauna. And the reason they knew that is because the sauna had already wrecked their own handbook. And that's how it all played out. Isn't that right, Mondo Awa?
Let's go.
Wait! No, this can't be right. Where's your evidence? Yeah, where's your You need evidence! You need proof! Without any proof, you can't pin any of this on him!
Evidence that Mondo is the killer. That already revealed itself earlier in the trial. All I have to do is check that one item of his, and everything will become clear. I hate the new thing they add to this.
Show me some evidence!
Wait, no, they didn't
You're
add it
wrong!
yet.
I won't listen! I refute you! False! Show me some evidence!
What?
I won't listen! I refuse to vote! Show me some evidence!
Oh yeah,
You're wrong!
I like this.
I won't listen!
This makes
I
things
refute you.
a lot easier.
False!
Basically, they can like screw me over.
I won't listen!
You see where I
You're
cannot
corrupt.
see the tempo.
I refuse to vote! I refute you!
And
False! You're corrupt!
I can make it go fast.
Show me some evidence! I won't listen!
Making it really... No.
Show me some evidence! You're wrong!
I really cannot see anything.
Show me some evidence!
This should prove it! If my thinking so far is right, Mondo must have replaced his broken handbook with in which case, we can just check each of our handbooks. Once we do that, we'll...
We don't gotta do that.
Huh?
Yeah. I did it. I killed him.
And he admits it. Hey, I still got an A.
Bro, what are you saying?
I got no choice, man. After hearing all that, I gotta just... give up. Go ahead, Monokuma. Get it over with. Ask for the goddamn verdict.
Roger that!
Wait! Hold on!
No waiting! No time for the moment we've all been waiting for! Grab your Who will you elect as the Blackest? Will you make the right choice? Or the dread? What's it gonna be? What?
Okay. There we go. Okay, well that's the end of Trial 2.
What?
Uh-oh. This time it looks like you got it right again. Yes, it is so. The Blackened that killed Chihiro Fujisaki was Mondo Owada.
Unbelievable.
In case you're wondering, the vote was not unanimous. Kiyotaka chose the wrong answer. You're treading very close to the danger zone, Mr. Ishimaru. You need to be more careful. I refuse to believe it. There's no way he would kill someone.
Sorry.
Sorry.
What is this?
But why are you apologizing? Why? Why did you do it?
Now then.
Well, it looks like Mondo's taken a vow of silence, so allow me to explain on his behalf.
Actually...
The story of the murder this time is the sad story of two men. Oh, but for everyone who doesn't really want to hear it, you can hit the circle button to fast forward to the text. Anyway, there was once a young boy, and his name was Chihiro Fujisaki. He had an extreme inferiority complex regarding his own lack of strength. You're so weak, even though you're a boy. He'd heard things like that as long as he could remember, and he couldn't overcome his weakness. On the contrary, he tried to hide and buried himself further and further into the weakness, to take on the fragile form of a petite young girl. He had chosen that as his way out. Now nobody will be able to say anything about even though you're a boy. But no matter how tightly he wrapped himself up in that shell, the inferiority complex had already taken root deep inside of him and was not so easily weeded out. As it turned out, the shell was completely empty. The complex didn't disappear. Instead, it only grew stronger and stronger. I'm weak. Weak. Once the killing game had begun here at the school, he had no choice but to accept the fact. After all, this world is survival of the fittest. If you're not strong, you don't survive. And then the lovely and hateful Monokuma announced the revealing of the embarrassing secrets, which of course included Chihiro's embarrassing secret, which I was more than willing to divulge. Even though he dresses like a girl, Chihiro is actually a boy.
Hey,
And that was something Chihiro couldn't let anyone find out, no matter what the cost. If that was revealed, it would be the end. The hardened shell would crack, the armor would fall away. Without a doubt, those around him would torture him more than ever before. Everyone feared being thrust into such a dilemma. Must have sent him spiraling into despair.
What?
And yet...
I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
But...
Annoying, he used the threat of discovery to motivate himself to become stronger.
That's right.
Now's my
want
chance.
to change.
I'm going to get stronger and accept who I am. Strong enough so that when someone says, even though you're a boy, I'll be okay. I'll get better. With that thought at the front of his mind, he resolved to take immediate action. And so, that day he made the commitment to begin exercising. He was prepared to retrain his mind and body. But sadly, that would be the first and only chance he would get at it.
Hey,
When he decided to start exercising, he thought it would be good to ask for someone's help. But he wanted to tell that person his secret first, and then ask them to help him from there. And the person he went to...
Yeah, that's right.
It was me. Yep, it sure was. The biker gang fellow had been painfully clear about how important his manly promises were. So Chihiro promised and probably figured out that even if he confided in Mondo, his honor would make him keep the secret. Plus, Mr. Macho Mondo was the very symbol of a strong man that Chihiro had always aspired to. Maybe talking to Mondo about it will help give me some courage. So he went and asked Mondo to help him become strong. That was his aspiration. And he thought that only with Mondo's support would he ever be able to come close to that.
Correct.
So then that must be why Mondo did what he did. To keep the promise he'd made to Chihiro. Huh? Did what he did? You mean that's why Mondo carried Chihiro from the boys' locker room into the girls' locker room?
Indeed.
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. Wasn't that to cover up what he'd done?
Certainly.
That could have been part of it, but I don't think it was the main reason. The real purpose was to keep the promise between men he'd made to Chihiro.
But
how does the body keep his secret?
Because
if everyone knew he'd been killed in the boys' locker room, then everyone would have been arguing about how she got into the boys' locker room, right? Once that started up, at least a few of us would have immediately begun to suspect his identity, so he tried to protect Chihiro's secret by putting him in the girls' locker room and stealing his handbook, see? Then Mondo did all that to keep the promise he'd made to Chihiro, who he also killed. Why would he do that? The more I hear you talk, the more I don't understand. I mean, you guys trusted each other, right? So why? Why did you? Because no matter what, I didn't want anyone to know.
I knew it.
So that's what triggered it, after all. The possibility of having your embarrassing memories or secret exposed.
What is this?
That's impossible. Nothing could have been that bad. Something he didn't want anyone to know, even if it meant killing someone.
You're wrong!
It's impossible.
Don't make me repeat myself.
How many times must I repeat myself? To judge others by your own standard is the height of folly. Even if you can't comprehend it, he obviously can. That's all there is to it. While we're on this subject, why don't I tell you that embarrassing memory, that secret, he didn't want anyone to know.
Hey,
You know what Mondo did? He killed his brother. Okay, well, Monokuma's going to, tell a story, and I'm going to summarize it real quick and, basically skip the part, so, for, like, time reasons. Okay, basically, he was, like, jealous of his brother, and he challenged his brother to a race. And that ended up, in his brother getting ran over, and Mondo became the new biker gang leader. Okay.
I I just...
I gotta get stronger than... Okay.
Don't fuck with me.
Oh yeah, forgot. The only reason his brother got ran over was because he saved his brother. He decided to hide the truth of what happened from everyone else in the gang. In order to keep the gang together and keep the promise to his brother, he could never admit to anyone that it was his own weakness that had caused the accident. The team, okay, still talking about the story. Strong. And yet, as soon as their killing game began, he realized no matter how tough he prepared to be, he was just another weakling that could die in an instant. Oh my god. And then, the hateful Monokuma announced the revealing of the embarrassing secrets. At that point, it was clear I would have no problem shedding light on his secret. Mondo killed his own older brother. No matter what, I couldn't let the other gang members find out. If that happened, everything would have been ruined. Everything me and my brother had worked to create would have been destroyed. His death, all the guilt I'd been carrying around, it all would have been for nothing. So that's why. That's why. Mondo, after I saw what Monokuma had on me, my head filled up with a kind of fuzzy uneasiness. I'd never felt anything like it before. I didn't know what to do about it. I wasn't sure what to think or say, but after a while that fuzzy uneasiness turned itself into a rock-hard lump of anxiety way down in my stomach. And it was right around then that Chihiro asked me to start working out with him. And right there, he told me a secret. Seriously, Jesus.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry I lied to you. But why? Why now? Why are you telling me this all of a sudden?
Huh?
This is why I hate Mondo. Huh? Because, I mean, you kept that secret all this time, right? If anyone found out, you would...
But...
You're right, but...
I want to change.
I wrap myself in lies. I'm weak. I want to destroy that version of me forever. His words were like a knife in my gut. I felt like he was exposing the lie I'd been living myself. I had to change. I don't want to be weak anymore. You're so strong. It can't hurt you, right? Whatever secret Monokuma might tell us.
You piece of...
So what? You're saying I should just say it?
What?
You're saying if I really am, I should just be able to tell everyone my secret?
Huh?
Huh? I was jealous. I was jealous of Chihiro's strength. He had the strength to face his own weakness, to try and overcome it. It was the kind of strength I've never had. So I was jealous of him. And that jealousy broke me.
What?
Are you making fun of me? I'm strong. Are you effing with me right now?
No!
I'm not making fun of you. You really are strong, Mondo. I felt like I could hear something starting to creak. Something inside my head. What did he want me to do? What was I supposed to do? What was I supposed to just sit back, let my secret get revealed and ruin everything?
What's wrong?
Damn you!
Why'd you have to tell me that? Are you trying to rub my failure in my face?
I just wanted to...
No, I really did. This man admires Mondo. That's right, I am strong. I'm strong. Stronger than you.
You son of a bitch!
And stronger than Daya. See? I don't remember anything after that. When I woke up again, he was laying at my feet covered in blood. I had the dumbbell in my hand and I was just staring at him down on the ground. Hey. I killed him. I killed Chihiro.
Even after all this time.
Wait.
I'm still just as weak as I've... And thanks to that, I did something I can never take back.
Mondo. He was normally so aggressive, so angry. He hid that weak side away from everyone. That was his secret. A weakness like that lived in a heart like his. And it turned him cold-blooded. Gosh dang it. Look at him. You see, you're all just like him. For that, he killed another living human in cold blood. He couldn't cut free of his regrets from the outside world. He doesn't know what true strength is. Do you see hope anywhere in there? Cause I sure don't. Just shut up, you son of a gun. Go ahead, say that again. I dare you.
Yep.
Okay, I'll say it as many times as I want. Is what I want to say, but fortunately I can't do that right now. Cause the time for punishing is fast approaching. Punishing.
It can't be.
Alright, you mean execution?
Well now.
That's what I promised you, right? The blackened that disturbs the peace will be punished.
Ridiculous.
Hold on.
Now then, I prepared
Now
a
then.
very
No, wait.
Let's give it everything we've got. It's punishment.
Sorry, man. I couldn't keep the promise we made. From one man.
Mondo's final words. After the punishment, I'm just gonna end the video quick. This is the best execution in the whole game. Hey. Do it. You probably don't. And the end of Mondo's execution. Okay. Mondo butter. Best execution in the whole game. Okay, well, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and end the video up here. Let me see real quick. Alright. We'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.